Hello, lovely people. My name is Mauli Humphrey Setterview, a member of Group 5. My group is working on the library management system. The library management system is supposed to talk about borrowed books, return books, display available books, display borrowed books, and then also exit the program. So now the most important thing is that we would have to start by introducing our include studio.h, and our include studio.h simply means input or output functions like printf and then scanf. That means it provides them. And then our include std.late.h provides general utilities like memory allocation. That's it's talking about the memory of the program. And then our include.h provides additional string related functions of the program. So now we have to introduce our main function of the program, which is the int main. And then under the int main, we have these three important things. The first one is the int choice. The int choice likely used to store user input for menu options, and then the int I likely used as a loop, and then the int control likely used for controlling program flow. Now, because our program is supposed to talk about books, we would have to introduce a structure. Which structure are we talking about? The character, the title, the author, and the availability. And now we are telling our program that the title shouldn't be more than 100. Any title inputted less than 100, our program should accept it. Any author's name inputted less than 50, our program should accept it. And then any availability inputted less than 20, our program should also accept it. The next most important thing we told our program to do is the structure book library, which is 7. The structure book library, which is 7. We are telling the program that we only have 7 books in our library, and these books are like Stars on Earth, Harry Potter, Diary of a Young Girl, Boy Landing, Astro Boy, Tarzan, and Cockerel. So any book apart from these books listed or inputted into our system will not display because our program doesn't have idea about it. And now the book name, the username, and then the password. We are trying to tell the program that any book name from what we have been inputted, if it's more than 100, the program shouldn't run it because we're giving a maximum limit for the name, and then which is 100, exactly 100 or less than 100. Same applies to the username and then the password and then the student's name as well. So now let's come to our library management system, how it works. We decided to introduce username, introduce password to our program. So now the printf, we are trying to tell the program that when you log into our portal, you would have to go through all this. You have to go through the username, you have to go through the invalid name, you have to go through the password. So this is how we wrote our program for them. So for the username, printf username, the printf. So the printf simply means display. So we are trying to tell the program to display library management system. Same applies to the username because we use the printf. And then the scanf also talks about integers. That applies to the username. And then the highlighted one talks about program which are true and exactly true. Any program which is not exactly true, it wouldn't run it. That is talking about our username. We use admin as our username. So if you come to the else statement and then you don't use what we've used as our username, it will tell you invalid password or invalid username. And then the last part, we are going to talk about the printf login successfully. We introduce this to tell our users that if they log into our portal, they would receive a message which is logged in successfully, and then that will give them notification that they've been able to log in our portal. Thank you.
I'll continue from the do loop. Okay, so a do loop is a loop that gives options despite the conditions of a code. So which means that in this place it's printing out the point, which is the first one is if the person borrowed a book, if he returns a book, displays available books, display borrowed books, exit program. And then the last one, which it indicated that you can choose options from 1 to 0, which means that anything above that will not be acceptable. Which means that if it asks me for option and then I go and punch maybe 5, it's going to reject it because it didn't give the options to 5. So that's how this one is going to be. And this n shows the spaces between from where you finish your login procedures to this list of options that is giving you. So the scanf will ask you to opt for your choice. So you'll be choosing for your choice. Maybe you select to borrow a book. Note that the books, we have some that are borrowed. So you check, it's going to display, then you get the borrowed books and then the non-borrowed books. So let's enter to case 1. Case 1 is when it asks you want to borrow a book. So you enter the book name, maybe from here, from the novels. Okay, I want Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling. So I'll type in Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling. Then it's going to display whether the book is available. It's going to display the author and then the availability of the book. So it displays and then it's not borrowed. So when I request for it, it's going to display to others that it's borrowed. This is where it's going to display. It's going to display others that this part is when I borrow and then it's borrowed. Then now it displays to me that I've borrowed it successfully. That means that anyone that wants to borrow the book, it will prompt the person that the book has already been borrowed. You see, that's where the prompt is. Here is where the prompt is. Sorry, this book is already borrowed. This is where it will prompt you that the book is already borrowed. Even me, if I request for the book, it's going to tell me that it's borrowed because I borrowed it. So if there's no book, maybe I insert You Are Mine by Lee Min Ho, it's going to tell me that the book is not from because it wasn't listed in the above books that they requested. So they will tell me that it's found in library. So I'll end here. The next person will continue from where I ended.
I'm going to be handling case 2 of our code, and case 2 of our code begins from line 93 to line 115. And case 2 of our code is specifically handling the return book aspect. Line 93 says printf enter book name. What this printf does is to display on our screen when the code runs enter book name. Line 94 fget book name, size of book name, std in. What it does is to ask and prompt the user to enter book name. After that is done, line 95 of our code ends the input of line 93 and line 94 with the help of this function strcspn. What it does is to compare two strings in a case insensitive manner. If we say a case insensitive manner, it simply allows the user to enter either a capital letter or a small letter. Found O is a variable that keeps track of whether the book is found in the library. If the book is found in the library, it then comes to line 99 of our code. And line 99 of our code checks whether the name the user inputted matches with the name in the library. If it matches, this checks the availability status of the book, whether the book has been borrowed. If the book has been borrowed, this line here updates the availability status of the book. It updates the availability status of the book and then print out that book has been successfully returned. If that the book has been successfully returned. Found one just indicates that the book has been successfully returned, and the break ends this statement from line 99 to line 103. Else, if the book has not been borrowed, it will print out this book is not borrowed. That it will just print out that the book has not been borrowed with the help of printf. Found one just indicates that the book has not been borrowed, and the break ends the loop here, and the break ends the loop. If the loop has been completed, what this section does is to check the value of the found. If the found is with a value O, meaning that the book is not found in the library, so it will then print out book not found in the library. And line 15 of our code says break, and this break just simply ends case 2 of our code. Thank you.
So we're going to continue from where Angel left, you understand? So now we're on input choice 3. So it means that when the user wants to choose an option choice 3, which says should display the available books, understand? The concept over here is that we must make the code, actually display all the books whose availability has been listed as available within the library array over here. You understand? So all these books whose availability has been listed as array, we actually want the program to display them. Understand? We should ignore all other, books which availability has been, tagged as borrowed. You understand? So for us to do that, we must use this code. You understand? First, you must, declare initialize a variable. We said a variable should be called available count, and we should set it to be equal to 0. Then we should make a loop over here. We say that for I is equal to 0, I is less than 7, and I plus plus. It means that it should search through the library. Understand? It should search the library of 7 books. Go and check the availability status. Understand? Then check if the availability status is equals to 1. If it is equals to 1, then you have to print the title of the book and the author of the book, which was stated by this format specifiers %s. Understand? Which means string characters. Now, if over here, this code over here for if available count equals to 0, it means that if you add all of the available books and they sum up to 0, then you have to display to the user that there are no books currently available. You understand? So it's just that the concept is that if everyone comes and borrows a book, then it should just display to the user that no books are available. But once there's a book available in the library, this over here will go and look for the books available in the library, then display their name. Understand? So let's just run the code to see. Sorry, I need to. Okay, let me run it again. Yes, so option 3, we are displaying available books. So if you hit enter, it has to display all the books whose availability status has been marked as available. Understand? So all these books, they display over here only because the availability status has been marked as available. Let's go to the next line of code. Now, case 4 structure or algorithm also follows that of case 3, just similar, you understand? But instead of, displaying books whose availability has been marked as available, they show their availability whose books, they show the status, or they show books whose availability has been marked as borrowed, understand? Yes, so any book which has been borrowed will display over here, you understand? So, we declare initialize a variable called borrowed count, you understand? Then we use this loop to search through the array of books we predefined earlier on, understand? So it's going to search through the library, understand? It should check the availability status. If the availability status equals to 0, then proceed and print the title of the book in the library and the author of the book, which has been, specified in this with the format specifiers over a %s, then should count the number of borrowed books. That's why it says borrowed count plus plus. Then again, if there are no books borrowed, just display to the user that, no books are currently borrowed. We could run them. Let's run the code and see for ourselves. So option 4 to display the books borrowed. When we go to option 4, it shows us the books which have been borrowed, or whose availability has been set as borrowed. Understand? Yes. Then again, remember that if you actually, opt in for option 1, like you came to borrow a book from, the first option, understand, and you come back to option 3 to display the books which are currently available. Mind you that book that you borrowed from option 1 will no longer be available or soon display in option 3. Understand? That's how the code actually runs. And that's why we actually use a do while loop. Get me? Okay. So in order for the loop to terminate, we set aside an option choice. That was option 0. So when the user opts in for option 0, the program exits. It stops completely. You understand? So we made a case where that when the user, opts in for option 0, should print exited, then return 0. Return 0 because we don't want the program to be continuing. We want the program to just exit, you understand? So return 0, just print blank. The program will no more, understand? Yeah. Then default, you understand? Default over here should be the in case of in cases. So over here, as seen as if the user inputs any other value apart from 1, 2, 3, 4, and 0, you should just display to the user that invalid choice. Then to rerun the loop, understand? So the user can opt in for the correct choice. Let's just run the code for you to see in action. So let's say instead of the person just inputting option 0, the person just said option 5 to display invalid choice. The user is still stuck on option 7, still invalid choice until the user inputs 0 for the program to stop executing. Yes. So this is group 5, and this is our presentation for a library management system. My name is Eloma GNT, and thank you guys so much.